The Isle of Wight is an area of maritime natural beauty and historical interest, but this is being compromised by a high level of dredging and dumping. My name's Bob Brading and I've been diving since 1967. I'm a British Sub-Aqua Club national instructor, first class diver and a past member of the Balance Seas project. I am also an underwater photographer. I have completed 4,000 plus dives as far south as the South China Seas and the Baltic Sea to the north, and many of the oceans in between. However, most of my interest lies in diving the southwest coast of the Isle of Wight, and it is with great dismay I have seen the underwater conditions deteriorate over the last 2 decades, and more dramatically during the year 2014. The following images were taken in the early to mid 2000s during the summer months, showing clear waters off the island's coasts. The wreck of the Spirus lies in approximately 30 metres of water off the western end of the island, and this video was taken in 2006. As you can see, the visibility is about 10 metres, and swimming around a wreck like this is a pleasure. The sea life is good, and so is the In simple terms, the tides flood from the west, bringing clear, clean water from the English Channel and the Atlantic Ocean. The ebb tide takes polluted water from the rivers flowing into the English Channel. In recent decades, dredging spoil has increasingly been dumped in the area of the Nab Tower, and year by year degrading seawater clarity. The Southampton dredging project has dramatically increased the dumping of the Nab Tower, and next year this will be followed by the Portsmouth Harbour dredging project. Here you can see the size of the vessel used for dredging the Southampton Channel and then taking it out to the Nab Tower and dumping. Added to the Southampton project, the Cowes Harbour Breakwater project has built a shingle wall in the mouth of the River Bendida, creating a large amount of silt which is swept to the west by the ebbing tide or up the River Medina by the flooding tide. It is also being noticed that tidal currents in the Cowes area have substantially increased in the approaches to Cowes. Here you can see the size of the vessels used and some of the pollution that is being caused by the dumping and dredging. This leaves behind silt in the water, which can be seen in the last picture of Cowes Harbour. The area close to the Nab Tower has been used for many decades as a dumping ground, but the quantity and nature of the spoil being dumped can now be seen as detrimental to the local maritime environment. The following pictures show the banks of silt being carried across Chale Bay towards the Needles and Tennyson Cliffs. The brown streaks are quite clearly seen here, and the banks of silt can be seen travelling down towards the Needles and Tennyson Cliffs. This video taken of the Needles in July shows clearly that the water is very, very cloudy and covered in silt, totally unsuitable for diving and also affecting the fish life. There have been very poor catches all through this summer around this area. The HMS Pomone is a protected wreck site in the sheltered waters of Allen Bay to the west of the island. The first pictures show the clarity of conditions in the mid-2000s. However, the video that follows show how poor conditions are this year. This video was taken in May 2014 and clearly displays the silt and sediment standing in the water. Here you can clearly see the silt covering the wreck. This is also covering the seabed and choking the marine life that lives beneath it and affecting the food chain, so fewer fish are being caught around this area. You can see now how poor the visibility is, and as the diver leaves this part of the wreck you can see clouds of silt are kicked up by his finning action. The schooner Fenner was a small ship that foundered in March 1881, carrying general cargo including sheets of glass and railway lines. These first photographs were taken in the mid-2000s and show clear water and also marine life. Here we're diving in July 2014 and here we're in about 2 to 3 metres of water. Now we're heading from 5 metres down to 10 metres, and as you can see the visibility is deteriorating rapidly. At 15 metres it now begins to get very gloomy, and a torch is required to be able to see where we are going. At 23 metres this is what you see. Nearly black conditions and very poor visibility. These are the railway lines, by the way. This video was taken in July when the tides were at their best for diving, and shows how poor the conditions are. The major dredging project of Portsmouth Harbour is to commence shortly. In recent years divers have suffered deteriorating underwater visibility, but this year it has declined to the level of making the area around the island undivable. In conclusion, not only has the dumping of dredged material dramatically decreased seawater visibility, but all levels of sea fishermen are experiencing massively reduced catches, particularly of mackerel and bass. In light of all the official bodies monitoring this area, it would seem that an independent review is required urgently to determine the level of environmental change that has occurred and what could be done to minimise the effects of these projects in the future.